II. Korea, Desert Storm. The USS Wisconsin, one of America's principal battleships, whose story spans 3 wars and nearly 5 generations. As the last battleship ever made, she was the pinnacle of naval shipbuilding, one of the biggest and best. Follow the fascinating saga of this powerful battleship and discover her place in history on USS Wisconsin, the last battleship.
Welcome to a place that is always just beginning, that rouses itself day to day and year to year to admire what it's made, starting with nothing, then rushes to invent itself all over again. Ordinary people doing extraordinary things, knowing what goes on now goes on to shape tomorrow. Welcome to a land that is never exactly what you think it is, and will never stay that way for long. There are a million stories in the streets of the cities we never finish building. We intend to tell them all.
If you had to pick one country in the entire world where foreign visitors are made to feel most welcome, you got to go with Ireland. So come with us, pub crawling through the streets of Dublin with James Joyce. Place a wager on a thoroughbred at the Galway races. And, of course, kiss the Blarney Stone, as if I didn't have enough already, I know. All on public television. The wit and charm of this magical place on Mark Russell's Irish Fling.
Saturday night at 11 on WLIW.
He's a jack of all trades, a thief, and a bit of a scoundrel. He's industrious, an architect, and a master at construction. And even though the raccoon and the beaver share the same North American forests, their lifestyles couldn't be more different. Don't miss this delightful visit with 2 of our most popular wildlife characters, the bandit and the builder, next time on Nature.
Sunday night at 9 on WLIW. Separately, they were each ordinary guys with ordinary lives. But together, they became a brave group of soldiers that would stop at nothing to win a war.
This is the first step in the great offensive that's going to make Hitler and Mussolini put up the shutters and go out of business.
Tune in as David Niven stars in The Immortal Battalion. Monday night at 9 on WLIW.
Each week, Marian Esposito invites viewers into her kitchen to learn the techniques of cooking Italian food. Well, now she's coming right here to the WLIW studios, where you can join her as she hosts a scrumptious marathon of Ciao Italia. Spend an evening with Marian Esposito, Wednesday, May 26th, beginning at 7:30, live on WLIW.
There. Look at that. Look how wonderful that is. That's about 6 tablespoons.
If the money is not paid on the 14th, then there will certainly be no marriage on the 18th.
Next on Mystery, Sherlock Holmes risks his reputation and his life.
If you're caught, an honored career ending in failure and public disgrace.
What failure? What disgrace? Against defeat.
Time is running out. Mr. Holmes.
The Master Blackmailer on Mystery.
Saturday night at 9 on WLIW.
World War II. Korea, Desert Storm. The USS Wisconsin, one of America's principal battleships, whose story spans 3 wars and nearly 5 generations. As the last battleship ever made, she was the pinnacle of naval shipbuilding, one of the biggest and best. Follow the fascinating saga of this powerful battleship and discover her place in history on USS Wisconsin, the last battleship.
Join us as Václav Neumann conducts the Czech Philharmonic Orchestra at the magnificent St. Vitus Cathedral. Enjoy the glorious sounds of the Dvorak Requiem.
Wednesday night at 9 on WLIW.
Fitness czar Covert Bailey is on a mission.
If exercise could be packaged into a little pill, it would be the most heavily prescribed medicine in history. So if you eat too much carb, you can get fat. If you eat too much protein, you can get fat. If you eat too much fat, you can get fat. Right? And it all ends up in fat in the bottom, which is symbolic. Do I practice what I preach? What do I preach? Do I preach you should never eat this and never eat that? No, I practice if you exercise and get fit, you can eat almost what you want. And the truth is, I may be one of the few people comes along and says, listen, now you're going to get some real help.
Covert Bailey's Fit or Fats. It'll make you change.
Star Hustler is brought to you by Sky and Telescope, the essential magazine of astronomy.
Some people hustle pool, some people hustle cars. But have you ever heard about the man who hustles stars? Jack Horkheimer, Star Hustler, director of the Miami Space Transit Planetarium.
Our episode for this week, Monday, May 10th through Sunday, May 16th, is Happy Trails to You. Star Trails, that is.
And now here to tell you all about tonight's sky and the biggest show of all, the universe, your Star Hustler, Jack Horkheimer.
Greetings, greetings, fellow stargazers. And no, Roy Ed Dale will not be on this week's episode, because the happy trails I'll be talking about will be trails you'll be able to skyride right in your own backyard. So, let's hop along casually over to our northern skies, partners, for a good look-see. Okay, we've got our skies set up so that we're facing due north any January evening between the hours of 8 and 10 p.m., your local time. And if you look to the right of the North Star, you'll see the 7 stars which make up our old friend, the Big Dipper. It's 2 pointer stars at the end of the cup, almost due east of the North Star. So if you know it's the month of January and the Big Dipper is almost due east of the North Star like this, well, you also know what time it is, somewhere between 8 and 10 p.m. Similarly, if you go outside any April night between 8 and 10 p.m., you'll find the Big Dipper almost directly over the North Star. So, if you know it's April and the Big Dipper looks like this, well, you'll also know, without a watch, that it's between 8 and 10 p.m. Not very precise for setting your VCR, but then how many people watch television anyway when they're out under the stars? So, armed with this information, where do you think the Big Dipper will be between 8 and 10 p.m. during the month of July? That's right, almost due west of the North Star. And if you go out in October between 8 and 10 p.m., you'll find it directly below. Once again, January, April, July, and October. And by now, you've probably deduced, as each quarter of a year goes by, the Big Dipper moves 1/4 of the way around the North Star for the same hour of night. This is caused by our Earth's yearly orbit around the sun. And if you're a real camera bug, you could take your camera, set it up on a tripod, aim it at the North Star, and theoretically, if you took a long time exposure, a real long time exposure, every night from the month of January through December, well, you would end up with the stars of the Big Dipper tracing circular trails of light completely around the North Star. But we don't have to wait a whole year while our Earth makes one orbit around the sun to get our Big Dipper star trails. Because, as you may recall, in addition to our yearly orbital motion, our Earth also spins on its axis, making one complete rotation every single day. So, if you set your exposure just right and leave your shutter open all night long, you will get almost the same effect. Well, actually only half of it, about 12 hours worth. Unless, of course, you're way above the Arctic Circle in winter, where you'll have 24 hours of darkness, in which case you will get complete circular star trails. So, happy star trails to you, fellow stargazers, and whatever you do, remember, to lasso yourself any stars on the celestial range, you must, of course, first remember to keep looking up.
Star Hustler is made possible by a grant from Sky and Telescope, the essential magazine of astronomy. Every month, Sky and Telescope features a complete celestial calendar with star charts and planet locator guides, plus viewing tips for skygazers of all levels.
If you had to pick one country in the entire world where foreign visitors are made to feel most welcome, you got to go with Ireland. So come with us, pub crawling through the streets of Dublin with James Joyce. Place a wager on a thoroughbred at the Galway races. And, of course, kiss the Blarney Stone, as if I didn't have enough already, I know. All on public television. The wit and charm of this magical place on Mark Russell's Irish Fling.
Saturday night at 11 on WLIW.
He's a jack of all trades, a thief, and a bit of a scoundrel. He's industrious, an architect, and a master at construction. And even though the raccoon and the beaver share the same North American forests, their lifestyles couldn't be more different. Don't miss this delightful visit with two of our most popular wildlife characters, the bandit and the builder, next time on Nature.
Sunday night at 9 on WLIW. Separately, they were each ordinary guys with ordinary lives. But together, they became a brave group of soldiers that would stop at nothing to win a war.
This is the first step in the great offensive that's going to make Hitler and Mussolini put up the shutters and go out of business.
Tune in as David Niven stars in The Immortal Battalion. Monday night at 9 on WLIW.
Each week, Marian Esposito invites viewers into her kitchen to learn the techniques of cooking Italian food. Well, now she's coming right here to the WLIW studios, where you can join her as she hosts a scrumptious marathon of Ciao Italian. Spend an evening with Marian Esposito, Wednesday, May 26th, beginning at 7:30, live on WLIW.
There. Look at that. Look at how wonderful that is.
That's about 6 tablespoons.
Now, we've just taken the largest theorem, 3.4. It tells us when we have an Euler circuit. It tells us when we have an Euler path.
Just delivering some videos.
Okay, you got the sign here.
Every day in big cities and small towns, you'll find public television working behind the scenes on many kinds of programs.
See it? What's better? Let's bring the red up a little more.
Programs that benefit your children, your neighbors, and your community.
Have you talked to your mom and dad?
Yeah, but they don't listen to me.
I know what you're saying, but yes, they do.
Programs that keep us in touch with each other, and keep us in touch with tomorrow.
Let's go ahead and bring up the zone flight generator.
In fact, we think some of our best programs are the ones you never see on television.
What time is it? Again. Very good.
You're watching viewer-supported public television, WLIW, Channel 21.
You know the children's song about Michael Finnegan? He grew fat and then grew thin again. Well, dieting is sort of like that for most people. Hello, I'm Steve Highsmith, and welcome to International Dispatch.
If the money is not paid on the 14th, then there will certainly be no marriage on the 18th.
Next on Mystery, Sherlock Holmes risks his reputation and his life.
If you're caught, an honored career ending in failure and public disgrace.
What failure? What disgrace? Against defeat.
Time is running out. Mr. Holmes.
The Master Blackmailer on Mystery.
Saturday night at 9 on WLIW.
World War II. Korea. Desert Storm. The USS Wisconsin, one of America's principal battleships, whose story spans 3 wars and nearly 5 generations. As the last battleship ever made, she was the pinnacle of naval shipbuilding, one of the biggest and best. Follow the fascinating saga of this powerful battleship and discover her place in history on USS Wisconsin, the last battleship.
Join us as Václav Neumann conducts the Czech Philharmonic Orchestra at the magnificent St. Vitus Cathedral. Enjoy the glorious sounds of the Dvorak Requiem.
Wednesday night at 9 on WLIW.
Fitness czar Covert Bailey is on a mission.
If exercise could be packaged into a little pill, it would be the most heavily prescribed medicine in history. So if you eat too much carb, you can get fat. If you eat too much protein, you can get fat. If you eat too much fat, you can get fat. Right? And it all ends up in fat in the bottom, which is symbolic. Do I practice what I preach? What do I preach? Do I preach you should never eat this and never eat that? No, I practice if you exercise and get fit, you can eat almost what you want. And the truth is, I may be one of the few people who comes along and says, listen, now you're going to get some real help.
Covert Bailey's Fitter Fats. It'll make you change.
Take your hand off the remote control. You won't be needing it tonight.